and welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Lorena. So as you can see here, I have a pretty big stack of books. I think there's 10 to be exact. I'm going to put them down, they're kind of heavy. And yes, this is going to be a book haul because I have been buying some books recently. Yes, so I've been buying quite a few books, and I've also been buying ebooks, but I'm not going to go through that whole list. But what I think I'm going to do at the end of this, I'm going to go through some of the ebooks that I've gotten on Kindle this month on the Kindle deal on Amazon. I am filming this early July, and this will still be going up in July, so I'll mention them at the end. I'll timestamp it, so if you are interested in what kind of deals they have, if something takes your fancy, you can also check that out, but that'll be a very quick thing. The main focus is this big stack of books here. So yeah, I'm just gonna pick up the first one and let's just get into it. So the first one is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. Now this featured in my June wrap up. I read this in May because I didn't have a May one. So I've already read this, and actually this one my friend was doing a clear out. So the next two books as well I got from her. So yes, this was free, which is great. So second, I forgot to mention actually, most of these are second hand. It's quite a good second-hand haul with a few new ones in there. But yes, I got this. This is the first in I think the Crazy Rich Asian series. I don't know if that's the full title of it. But yes, it was really fun, comedic. I also listened to the audiobook. It was really great. If you want to hear my full review on it, you can go and watch my June wrap-up video. Next, I have Still Me by Jojo Moyes. So this is the third one in a series. So there's Me Before You and then there's After You. I read both of those back, I want to say in 2017, so it has been a while, and I've been meaning to read this one for like forever. So when she said she was getting rid of some books and there's this one, I was like, well, I have to take it. I am gonna have to reread the first two because, like I said, it's been like a good 4 years. So yes, this is the last one in the series, I believe. And yeah, I don't want to say too much because I'll end up giving things away. But yeah, so it's following on obviously from the first two. It'll be interesting to see where we've gotten in this one, where Lou is with her life following the event that happened in the first one. So the last one that I got from my friend when she was having the clear out is The Refugees, and this is a collection of short stories. It was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 2016. It's written by a Vietnamese American author. I think he was born in Vietnam and then he was raised in America. So yeah, these collection of short stories, I believe, is people who are from Vietnam living in America, and I don't know if it's a case of they're descendant of somehow of Vietnamese. I don't know if they grew up in America or if they've recently moved, but it's a collection of short stories of Vietnamese Americans. So I think it'll be really interesting. I do like a good short story collection, and yeah, I think that'll be a really good read. Plus the fact that it's won a prize does give me the impression that it'll be a really good book. Then I've got a couple of those Asda deals, I don't know what, the supermarkets and Tesco as well, they have two for £8 or whatever. I think these were two for £8. And they always have books that I want, which is a problem, because I should probably avoid the book aisle when I go for a food shop. So I stopped picking up books. But both of these are murder mysteries. The first one I have seen a few people speaking about it on BookTube, but not too much. I feel like it hasn't hit America, so it's just the people I've seen speaking about it is British booktubers. But this is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. So this is set in a retirement village. There are four friends who meet up once a week to investigate unsolved murders. So I think they're in their 70s, 80s or something. So a murder takes place and then the Thursday Murder Club find themselves in the middle of a live case. So I think the ones previously they discussed, like, you know, obviously the ones that have happened maybe so many years ago, but this is actually a live case that they're going to investigate, which sounds really fun. Yeah, I like the idea of like these retirees like investigating murders, and it just sounds really fun. I think there's actually a second book coming out. I don't know when, it's sometime this year I want to say. So I'm looking forward to that, so I can read this, and then if I really like it then I can like pre-order the next one in the series. But yeah, no, it sounds really fun. Really like a really fun murder mystery concept. And the next one actually, it's also, I saw it and I was like, that looks like an interesting title. Read the back and I was like, okay, this is an immediate purchase. And that is The Windsor Knot, and this is by S.J. Bennett. So Her Majesty the Queen Investigates is what it says here at the top. I don't know if you can see that. And yeah, it's this basically, it's a murder mystery that the Queen solves. So she, yeah, she investigates, I think somebody dies within the palace and there's a murder and she's investigating it. And I was like, I have to read this. Like, I have to read a book where the Queen is investigating a murder in her own household. Like, it sounds so much fun. And I think, again, I think there's going to be a second one coming out. So it's like going to be like a series. So if I enjoy this one, that sounds really fun. And actually right now I saw on Amazon, this is on Kindle deal in July for like 99 pence. So yeah, it says here she lives like an extraordinary double life since her coronation. Away from the public eye, she has a brilliant knack for solving crimes. So I mean, it just, I'd love it. Like the Queen solving a murder mystery, it just, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be great. It sounds like it's going to be a great fun read, and I really hope it lives up to that expectation. Okay, so that is, yeah, those were the Asda ones done. Now the rest of this is, oh no, that's a lie. I was going to say the rest of these were charity shop books, but they're not. The next few are. So we love a good charity shop book. So yeah, so there's a couple that were like 99 pence, and then the others are like 50 pence. You know, the ones you get the 50 pence ones. It's just such a good deal. I do love a charity shop bargain, honestly. So I mean, the first one is Beloved by Toni Morrison. So this is one of my 99p ones. And yes, this has been on my TBR for a while. It is one of the Rory Gilmore books on the list, and I have seen a few people speaking about it. I've never read any of Toni Morrison's books, and this one and The Bluest Eye are two that I've had my eye on to pick up. So this one is set in the mid 1800s, as slavery is coming to an end. So our main character is haunted by the violent trauma that wrought on her former enslaved life, and her dead baby daughter, whose tombstone bears the single word beloved, returns as a spectre to punish her mother, but also to elicit her love. So yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a really emotional, thought-provoking read. So yeah, I'm going to pick this up at the time that I'm in the right headspace for that. So next up this is my last 99 pence one from this charity shop collection, and that is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. You see an Agatha Christie or a Stephen King book in a charity shop, you pick it up because they are such rare finds. Like, you never see them. Having said this, on the same day in another charity shop I did see another Agatha Christie one. It was the ABC Murders, but that one, the copy was quite damaged. Loads of the pages been folded. There was like some sort of like sticky stuff and stains all over it, and I was like, ugh. I didn't want to buy it because I do want to actually build a collection up of Agatha Christie. I haven't read any of them, by the way, but I do want to like have a collection. So if it'd been another book, I might have just bought it to read it, and then, you know, I could have passed it on. But I know that I want to keep them, so that's why I didn't pick up the other one. But yes, this is like one of her most famous ones. Everyone knows it. This is the movie cover edition. I'm not always a big fan of those movie cover editions, but I'm not going to have the display this way. It's going to be this way, so that's fine. So yeah, I mean, everyone knows another good murder mystery. Don't really need to say much about it. The next one I have seen quite a bit on BookTube, Bookstagram, BookTok, and that is The Red Queen, and this is by Victoria Aveyard, and And this is the first in a series. I don't know how many books there actually is in total in this series. Yeah, I don't know how many books in total. So this was one of the 50p ones, first of all. And as you can see, it's like the spine is perfectly fine, like there's no marks. I don't think it's ever been read. I think somebody bought it and it's just been sat on their shelves, and yeah. So, I mean, 50p, which is a great deal. So this is a fantasy series. So it's the Reds are commoners ruled by the Silver Elite in possession of godlike powers, and our main character is a red girl from a poverty-stricken area in this world, and it seems like nothing will ever change. She possesses a deadly talent of her own, one that threatens to destroy the balance of power. So fearful of her potential, the Silvers hide her in plain view, declaring her to be a long-lost Silver princess, knowing that one false move will mean her death. May use her new position to bring down the regime from the inside. So it sounds really intriguing, interesting. I saw it and I was like, I know this is like a favourite, so pick it up, see how it goes, and then if I like it I can, you know, continue on with the series. But yeah, I thought it was quite a good charity shop find. Another, and the last charity shop one actually in this haul, is actually a hardback, and it was 50p. We love the charity shop bargains, you guys, we love it. And that is Room by Emma Donoghue. I have seen this around, I've seen people reading it. Somebody had left their cinema ticket in here. Probably use it as a bookmark or something. I love finding things in people's books just to be nosy. So yes, so this is, I don't know too much about it, so I'm just going to read the synopsis rather than just make it up. So Jack is 5 and excited about his birthday. He lives with Ma in Room, which has a locked door and a skylight, and measures 11 feet by 11 feet. He loves watching TV and the cartoon characters he calls friends, but he knows that nothing he sees on screen is truly real, only him, Ma and the things in the room, until the day Ma admits that there's a world outside. Told in Jack's voice, Room is the story of a mother and a son whose love lets them survive the impossible. Unsentimental and sometimes funny, devastating yet uplifting. Room is like a novel like no other. So when I read the premise, I was like, that sounds extremely interesting. You know, you want to know why are they like living in this locked room? Is it like a prison or something? So it's very intriguing, and I like the idea that it's being told through the eyes of the boy, so we see things, yeah, from his perspective. So that sounds really good. So we then have a couple of books that I got in a local independent bookshop, one of which I've actually started reading. So this is how you know this is actually pre-filmed, because I have just picked this up. You can see the bookmark in it, and that's Rosemary's Baby. And I'm reading this as part of Summer Ween. So I would have read this, it will be in my vlog, so I will link. And if you want to find out what my opinions is, you want to hear her opinions of future/past me, because right now it's future, but when you're watching this, it's going to be past. Really, really confusing, but you get what I mean. So it's like a classic horror novel. I'm not too far into it right now. I'm just like page 44, and it's really interesting. It's quite short. So Rosemary and her actor husband move into the Bramford, an old building in New York City. An apartment has like come up, and it's very rare for them to come up there, and they were on the list. So they had to take it. It's like Rosemary loves it. It's her dream to like live there. And yeah, the building, they have been told by someone else, things happen. Things seem to happen to people in that building. Like, it's not as a reputation of, you know, certain things happening. And then it says that the neighbours soon come nosing around to welcome them. I've seen neighbours welcome them so far, and despite Rosemary's reservations about their eccentricity and weird noises she keeps hearing, her husband starts spending time with them, and shortly after, a guy lends a Broadway role. I don't know why that was so difficult. Rosemary becomes pregnant, and the neighbours start taking a special interest in her welfare. So it's really intriguing. Like right now they're still kind of setting it. These neighbours have started speaking to them, and I feel like I'm at the beginning of when they're gonna start becoming friends and taking an interest, etc. Weird things are gonna start happening. I feel it. So yes, I hope future / past me enjoy this. And then the last one on this list, again, I got from the same independent bookshop, which this bookshop, can I just say, is great. It's amazing. It's an independent bookshop where all the books are £3, okay? When you go on there, you never know what you're going to find. I mean, there's always classics. You always find classics, but the rest of it, you just don't know what you're going to get. And the best way to describe it is kind of like if a box of stories was a bookshop. Because like the books in there are ones you'll recognise, but there's other ones, and this one included actually, because when I looked this up on Goodreads, there wasn't that many. There was only like, I want to say about 500 like reviews or something. So there's ones in there that like you wouldn't have heard of at all, and it's great for finding a gem that people just aren't talking about and clearly hasn't had that marketing campaign really behind them to get the book out there. And then yeah, like Rosemary's Baby I got there, you know, so you find ones that you know as well, well-known books. But yeah, it's great for finding a gem. It's an independent shop, and it's £3, and like I said, I just love the fact that I can go in there and just not know what I'm going to come out with. The book that I'm speaking about here, I still have a sticker on. Let's take that off. I mean, you know it's £3, but I hate having stickers on my books. So that is Kintu. Now this is written by an author from Uganda, which I'm trying to read books by authors from other places that are set there, if that makes any sense at all. So not necessarily some of it is translated fiction that I am picking up when I say that, other times it's not. So this I think was written in English, it's not been translated, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it was translated, I think it was written in English. So yeah, because I mean, I'm from the UK, and in general the book world is dominated by English speaking literature that is from like America and the UK, the majority of it, and then other places as well, like Canada, you know, you'll find Australia. It's very westernized dominated industry, so you don't really get the you don't really get to read books from and stories about people from other places written by those people that often. So I think I'm trying to expand, and then once I've read more, I'm gonna put a recommendations video to try and get some other books that aren't popular on YouTube, like BookTube, you know, out there. So yes, this one I'm going to read from the back because, like I said, it was just picked up on a whim, so it wasn't something I knew about or heard about before. So in this epic tale of fate, fortune and legacy, Jennifer Makumbi vibrantly brings to life this corner of Africa and this colourful family as she reimagines the history of Uganda through the cursed bloodline of the Kintu clan. Sorry. The year is 1750. Kintu Kida sets out for the capital to plead why am I struggling to speak today? Pledge allegiance to the new leader of the Buganda kingdom. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Along the way, he unleashes a curse that will plague his family for generations. Blending oral tradition, myth, folktale and history, Makumbi weaves together the stories of Kintu's descendants as they seek to break free from the burden of their past to produce a majestic tale of clan and country, a modern classic. So yes, it's got that historical aspect to it, historical fiction aspect, and it sounds like it is going to kind of follow through the generations, like it's going to be like a multi-generational story. And yes, it's going to be mixing in Uganda, folktale, history, myth, oral tradition, etc. So it's going to be bringing that all together. So I thought that sounded really interesting. I'm looking really forward to reading it. It's a little bit of a chunky book. Yeah, like 400 pages. But yes, so I definitely want to, yeah, like I said, I'm trying to pick up more unknown books from other parts in the world written by the people of those parts of the world, because, you know, I can read a book set in Egypt, but it's not written by an Egyptian author, you know, so it's not going to be the same, essentially. So yes, once I kind of build up a variety of books for that and I've read them, I'm gonna do like a recommendations video, like Reading the World, or I don't know. That might not be the title. We'll see when it comes to it. But yes, if you have read any of these, especially if you read this one, because like I said, I haven't seen anyone speak about this, let me know, leave a comment below about it. And yes, I want to hear your thoughts, opinions. Did you enjoy them? Do you think I will enjoy them? So now I'm going to quickly just speak about those few Kindle Deal books. So the first one is The Poppy War, and it's by R.F. Kwan. If you have watched my videos before, I am not a big fantasy reader. I do read them occasionally, but I'm not like, I feel like a lot of booktube, there's people that read a lot of fantasy, and I'm not a big fantasy reader. Not that I don't enjoy it, it's just something I don't tend to reach for. So The Poppy War, it's a trilogy. It's been all over booktube. So I am intrigued to read it, and I think a Kindle kind of 99p deal is quite good for me to kind of read the first one, see if I like it, and then I can buy the whole physical book collection. So it's a good way to dip my toes in, per se. I know that this is based on a real historical events. I have heard that it's inspired by bloody history of China's 20th century. But obviously with fantasy elements in there. So I've heard, like, you know, really just touch on, like, I think some tough topics. So before going into this, I definitely am going to actually look at the real history and see what really happened, and then go into this, because obviously this has other elements of like magical, etc. Magic, etc. So I don't know too much about the whole thing. I know that there was that follows true historical events. So there is that. The next one that I saw that caught my eye, which I haven't actually seen anyone speak about, but I love the concept of this. So it's called The Castaways, and it's by Lucy Clark. So it's a thriller that was released this year, actually. So yeah, it's March this year, so it's quite a relatively new release. So this is, from what I understand from the description, there was a plane crash, and it's crashed onto this remote island. Obviously, I mean, thrillers tend to be remote settings. And I assume it's like a kind of tropical island is what I'm imagining from that cover as well. I should have a picture up here so you'll see. So yeah, so there's like the survivors on this island. So I don't know what's gonna go on. I don't know what these survivors are like. What is, you know, what's gonna happen? It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. It sounds like a fun concept, and I feel like it's like the perfect sounding summer thriller, despite the weather not being exactly that summer in the UK this year. I don't know what's going on with that. Next there is Get a Life, Chloe Brown, by Talia Hibbert. I mean, the Brown sister books have been like all over booktube, and I've been wanting to read it for like ages, and this is on the 99p deal, so I can't resist getting it and reading it. It's a romance novel. I feel like I've heard that there's great representation, and each of the different stories about each of the sisters, you know, they're all very different. So yeah, it's a romance, and I've loved picking up romances over the last few months. I'm definitely reading more of them, and yeah, this one is a favourite, although everyone seems to say that Take a Hint, Danny Brown, which is the second one, is better than this one, but I still want to pick it up. I want to see what the hype is about, and if I will like it, because, you know, The Hating Game really hyped up, and I read it and absolutely loved it, which you should probably know by now because I think I've mentioned this already in 2 videos, so love it, new favourite. And that's kind of it of the ones I've picked up for the moment. Sometimes I find that it takes a little while to actually get in there and find some of the deals, because they might not necessarily be popular, so you have to kind of make your way through it. But I know that there is We're Liars, which I've not picked up, by E. Lockhart. There is also The Switch by Beth O'Leary, which I've bought previously. I've not read it yet, actually. Like I said, there's that The Winds Are Not, if that premise intrigued you. But yes, they always have such great deals. I couldn't resist picking them up. But yes, that's it. That is it for my haul. So yeah, like I said, leave a comment, let me know if you've read any of these, if you think I'll enjoy them, if you've recently bought anything as well. Let me know what kind of purchases you've done recently. And yeah, just comment, like, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Bye.